So it's certainly been a rough start to 2020. We've had bushfires to start the year off, then we've had lockdown with COVID-19. During these times, it can be pretty easy to disconnect from the people around us and kind of go into a bit of social hibernation. So although lockdown has been troublesome and hasn't been the greatest of times, it actually does remind us how much we rely on connection, friendship, and having a sense of community. So when we actually do go back to, our day jobs, our favorite cafes and our local gyms, we're actually going to remember how much we've learnt and how far we've actually come and how much we've grown. So at Get Gym Fit, we believe that the world becomes a much better place when people have access to solid and reliable information. We want to take the confusion and the intimidation out of joining a gym for the first time, which can be a pretty tough thing to do. We want to make sure that people are becoming confident gym goers. Although we can't fight fires or cure COVID-19, we do hope that the information and the resources that we put out there can actually bring you one step closer to maintaining that fitness for life and actually help you distinguish what is BS in the fitness industry and what's out there and what's not. So over the next few articles and resources that we put out, we're actually going to be teaching you guys what a really effective workout program from home looks like, what it entails, and how to go about performing it and doing it consistently over time. Here's what we're going to be covering in the program. Number one, the importance of fundamental exercises. Essentially, fundamental exercises are the most important priority when it comes to a good exercise program. You can almost think of them as the foundation of a really solid house. Everything that is placed on top of those good foundational exercise or fundamental exercises is nice and safe, solid and healthy. So it's a good platform to start from. You can think about, a house might have flashy cars, it might have a big screen TV, it might even have a pool out the back, but if it's not built on good foundations, eventually it's going to come crashing down. So it's the same with your body and exercise and getting the fundamental movement patterns right. We're going to teach you what these fundamental exercises are, helping you to avoid kind of the glitz and the glamour of the fitness industry, any fads that are out there. We don't want you to get caught up in them, and give you those fundamental exercises or teach them to you so that you've got a good solid foundation. Number two, why warming up can make or break you, literally. Think about a pile of blue tack. When you first get it in your hands, it's really cold, it's really hard to move and not very malleable, but if you keep it in your hands for a few minutes, kind of just molding it and folding it, it actually becomes really, really nice and plastic and elastic, and you can move it nice and freely and it's nice and warm. So you can kind of think of your muscles in the same way. So if you're not warming up, you're not getting the best out of your muscles, you're not nice and you're not gliding, you're not warm, and you're not going to perform at your best. So the good thing about warming up is that it helps you perform at your best and helps those muscles avoid something going snap. So it's a really effective way to train. So we're going to show you how to effectively integrate a warm-up into your workout so that you can perform at your best physically and mentally. 3, how to improve those niggly pains through mobility exercises. So nigglies, it's that pain in your knee when you're going up the stairs. It's that pain in your feet or your ankles when you've been on your feet all day going for a long walk. Or maybe it's kind of that tug in your lower back when you try and pick something up off the floor. We've all had those little niggly pains from time to time. You see, the joints in our body, they all have slightly different functions. A lot of them function to provide stability, so a lack of movement and solidarity. But then we also have joints that are more meant for mobility, more like our shoulders. They're very mobile, can freely move through a range of motion. So you've got this balancing act between both of them. The problem is, say when we've been sitting all day, our 21st century posture, often these things cause a bit of an overuse in joints and make our joints perform in a way that they're not supposed to. Now, that's very scientific. You don't need to understand all of that. But essentially, with a good exercise program, we want to try and balance out these things and have a level of stability and mobility in our joints. We're going to teach you how to integrate some mobility exercises into your program so we can stay really nice and well balanced and make sure that those nigglies don't actually turn into pain and injuries later on down the track. Next topic is going to be, where does cardio fit into all of this? So we all know that cardiovascular exercises are really effective and healthy way to train. It helps our blood vessels, it helps lower chances of cardiovascular disease, lowers our blood pressure, does a whole host of really, really important things, and that's definitely a fact. But often we don't know where to fit this into our strength or our exercise program. So where does cardio fit? Often when new gym goers think of cardio, they think of the really hard, tough stuff. So, sprint after sprint up a big hill, or maybe it's a long repetitive run over and over and over again, or maybe it's a never-ending train of burpees. But the reality is that it doesn't actually have to be that way. That's not what cardio is all about. It's actually about finding something achievable and manageable, starting slow with something that you can enjoy, and then building up slowly from there with a modality that you enjoy, rather than just doing something you hate and you're going to despise and not want to do it consistently over time. So we're going to show you how to incorporate cardio into your program in an effective manner. The next topic, or the final topic, is going to be how to integrate an exercise program effectively and safely. Making exercise a consistent and balanced part of your life is really tricky, and we've all started somewhere. The reality is that, we are going to have questions. Have I done enough today? Am I working hard enough? Am I eating the right things? Am I doing enough training? We're going to have these questions when we first start out, but it's all about getting started. The other concern we see is people diving in the deep end too early. Maybe it's week 1 or 2 and they've planned to do 10 exercise sessions a week. They're going to do this, they're going to do that. And they run into a bit of trouble because maybe it's a fortnight or 3 weeks in, and they get to the point where I can't keep this up, and they've done too much too quick. So it's all about performing or being consistent over time, and just the long marathon approach rather than a sprint. So we're going to help you map out an achievable yet challenging home workout plan that's going to get you one step closer to becoming a confident gym goer. So what are the next steps? At Get Gym Fit, we're going to be releasing weekly content like videos and articles that's going to help you get one step closer to achieving your goals and getting started on your fitness journey. Maybe your goal is, a simple life change. Maybe it is to join a gym for the first time one day, or perhaps you're starting up sport again and you want to make sure you don't get injured, or you don't feel like you stand out. Whatever your goal is, we can help. We can't actually change the world, but we can take small steps to make the world a better place today than it was yesterday. So if you or someone is in need of help with any of this stuff we've been discussing, please get in touch with us, and we'll do our best to help you along the way. Thanks, guys. See you next week.